1 second. Right. Let me just adjust the brightness here. And it looks like we're ready to rock. All right, good evening everybody and welcome back to Walks in Wall Street. It's a beautiful night here in Lower Manhattan. You know, we're actually starting off the live stream on Fulton Street. This is one of the most famous and well-known, and I would probably say one of the most photographed views of the World Trade Center, would you say? Now, I know we're not starting on time again, but at least we're starting a little bit earlier since the sun is just setting. You know, this is one of the things I love about the summertime is that it kind of stays light out almost until 9 o'clock. Well, it is officially start of Q3. So Q2 has officially come and gone, and now we look towards the second half of the year. Kind of crazy, but it is true. Hopefully you all closed out Douglas Elliman. You may know the Kirsten Jordan team from the very famous television show that used to be on Bravo, $1 Million Listing New York. Kirsten Jordan was the first female cast member on $1 Million Listing. And her team, I believe, just came in number 4 for total sales transactions for the month of May. So pretty cool to be able to work with one of the top real estate sales teams in New York City to get access to some interesting properties and also to get access to some interesting people, particularly institutional clients that are looking to gain exposure to New York City real estate. But tonight, we're going to be talking about inflation. Did anybody see the PCE data that came out? Now, as we think about inflation, the vast majority of people, including myself, right? We really think of the CPI data, the Consumer Price Index, as it relates to the preferred gauge to track inflation. But the Federal Reserve actually puts a little bit more credence and a little bit more weighting on the PCE, specifically core PCE. Now, the core reading excludes volatile food and energy, right? And the headline number includes that. Now, inflation actually was tapering off. I actually thought it was going to be a hotter than expected inflation report, but inflation's cooling quite materially, which is actually really good news for the market. If you look at the equity market, we did rally quite a bit on Wall Street. All the major equity indices closed almost near their highs, right? Not at the dead high, but pretty close to it. Interesting rally on Wall Street, so we'll talk about that tonight as well. And then finish off our conversation speaking about crude oil. Now, what I think we're gonna do, I wanna take you guys yet again to the World Trade Center. So we're gonna walk all the way down Fulton Street and do that. But then we're gonna head back to the South Street Seaport because we didn't have enough time to explore that area in its entirety a few nights ago. So without further ado, let's say hello to everybody in the chat tonight. I see my good friend Ryan Beck. What's up, my friend? Hopefully you're doing well. Richard Vogel, Western Mass Dave. What's up, my best you know, Gigi NYC, good to see you. I see Hawaii, I see Line Sync, Richard Vogel. Welcome, welcome. Now, if you notice, a lot of the streets in Lower Manhattan, they're so closely, tightly wound together. You have all these pretty interesting alleyways. Justin S is here, says good evening. Patricia says hello, Tom in chat. Crypto Meme says, hey, Tom. What's up? Good to see you. Vincent says hello, guys. What's up, Vincent? Always a pleasure to see you. Touring different places. Billy Foley says watching from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Love that. Rex A says, hey, Tom, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, it's interesting. I was looking at the YouTube analytics, right? And there's a lot of people tuning in from South Carolina. Now, here's my thesis as to why. You guys want to know? I'll tell you. You know, during the pandemic, there was a lot of New Yorkers, or I would just say people from the Northeast. Let's just say that to be more broad-based. A lot of people from the Northeast moved to the Carolinas. Who here that's watching the broadcast live as we stand outside of Joe's Pizza? The most famous one is near Times Square. But how many of you New Yorkers in the chat know of at least a couple people that moved to the Carolinas? So maybe that's why we have a pretty large audience from South Carolina particularly. I don't know, a lot of Long Islanders I know have chosen to pack up shop and move to the Carolinas. Hey, the final call, good to see you. You know, I'm seeing a lot of comments in the chat about the really unprecedented heat wave that's going on the West Coast. Now, I think in some parts of California, it's going to be over 100 degrees. I saw something crazy also in Arizona. I think Bree Grams was telling us it's going to be like 117 degrees. At least it'll feel like it. So hopefully there's not any rolling blackouts. That would be wild. Now, it isn't uncommon. So hopefully everybody stays safe this 4th of July weekend. Hey, Vincenzo is here. What's up? I'll give you guys one more view of the Trade Center. Beautiful here. Hey, Daniels is watching from Connecticut. Good to see you. Who Dat Dave, 7% of the United States lives in Florida, 22 million people. Wow, Rex Ace is trusting everybody's moving to Myrtle Beach. The real estate is booming here. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, the Carolinas specifically, right? Now, real estate markets are very, very geographically based. There's markets within markets. But those particular markets, North, South Carolina, if you want to just talk state-based, but Arizona as well, particularly Phoenix. Arizona was a huge market that exploded due to COVID. And I think those are probably going to be the markets that cool off a little bit, right? You know, if we use 2008 as our guide, even though I really don't like using that analogy of the 2008 financial crisis in comparison to this market, I think it's a totally different market. But generally speaking, usually the markets that go up the most in terms of price appreciation generally also tend to correct the most too. All right, so now we're coming up on Broadway. This is facing uptown. So if we continue to walk towards Vesey Street, that's actually going to be the entrance to the Brooklyn Bridge. But I'll quickly show you the World Trade Center one more time. Hey, Courtney Lee says, hey, Tom and Chad, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Happy 4th of July weekend, at least the start of it. But if we go down this way on Broadway, that'll actually run us right into the Mighty Bull, which is on the cross streets of Broadway near Wall Street. But for now, let's cross. And I want to try to go on the other side of the West Side Highway. We haven't been there in a long time, and since it's still a little bit light out, I think it'll be cool to see the city from that side of it. I don't think we've been there since last year. Very seldom do we even come down here if it's not good weather, so. Hey, Austin City Limits, what's up? Joe Hernandez says, hey Tom, have you heard any news about the progress? You know, I have not. I haven't even had any time to look into it, to be honest. Apologies, but I forgot my briefcase sling, so it's going to be hard for me to read the comments tonight. Hey, TC says, hey Tom, didn't you go to an open house today? How was it? Yeah, so it wasn't an open house, it was a preview. So 130 William is the building. So I was invited by the Kirsten Jordan team. If anybody's seen the show $1 Million Listing New York, you may be familiar with Kirsten Jordan. She was the first female cast member or female broker to be cast on the show $1 Million Listing. She's one of the most successful brokers in all of New York City. And it was a really awesome experience. I was just really impressed by the attention to detail, specifically as it relates to the building. The architect really did a great job. If you take a look at some of the amenities in the building, like the pool, the spa, a lot of the outdoor spaces, you'll see hints of the architectural design of those particular amenities all throughout the individual apartments. So for example, the pool is reminiscent of all of the sinks in the kitchen and the bathtubs, right? So if you could, if you go to my IG page, if you click the links in the description, I posted a quick video of it. It's really unique how they designed it. So the pool is like an enlarged version of the sinks. And it's just so unique. I can't even really explain it. It's not doing it justice, but the building has been a really big success. It's about 90% sold out. So there's about 10% of the units left on the market. There's a couple resales, but resales haven't really been popular in the building, which I guess in a way is good news. It means the tenants are really happy with their purchases, and there are some rentals on the market. Now, I think studio apartments, so just to give you guys a little bit of a gauge here, as we are standing outside of the beautiful Oculus, studio apartments for rent started about $3,900 in the building, but I was able to get access to one of the penthouses, which I think is listed for $6,995. So just a hair under 7 million, and wow, extremely breathtaking from the views. Honestly, just panoramic views, even though it was really smoky today. So you have unobstructed views to the south, overlooking not only the Brooklyn Bridge, but the Manhattan Bridge, and all the way to Brooklyn. You might be familiar with the Dime Savings Bank. There's a big development that has just completed atop of that. So you can essentially see all the way to Atlantic Terminal, Brooklyn. It's amazing. Really amazing. Statue of Liberty. So you could honestly be standing in the center of your apartment and see all of the major landmarks in New York. Statue of Liberty, Brooklyn Bridge, the Verrazano Bridge, even the Williamsburg Bridge on a really clear day. And even this guy right here, the One World Trade Center. Actually, the bathroom view is looking directly at the World Trade Center. So kind of cool. Went really good. Hey, Vinny Castellano, what's up? Says, I'll take a log cabin in the mountains of Montana. A lot of people have been moving there too. Hey, Brick Stonewall, good to see you. Touring different places. We may do that. I'm going to try to do that on July 4th. So touring different places is like, are we going to be able to do a live stream of the 4th of July fireworks? The Macy's Spectacular. Now, I'm going to try, but usually the internet gets very congested, as you can imagine, right? So, I mean, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that go to watch this fireworks display. So the network congestion may be a little bit too much for the, let's just say for the phone to handle. If that's the case, I'll just take a standalone video and upload it for you guys a little bit later. So this is a quick shot of the Oculus here. Hey, Steph UH is looking at your video now. Gorgeous property. Yeah, and you know, the staff, I've been in a lot of these, I would say, higher end apartments in New York. This one really left a pretty lasting impact on me. Just down to the teeniest detail. The staff, from the doorman to the porters, everybody is, let's just say it's a very, very tight ship there. Amazing place, amazing property. Maybe I have some other video content of it. Perhaps I'll upload that a little bit later. Yeah, Spencer's is such a beautiful piece of architecture, but I will, you know, I'm more interested in the financials. I mean, as you guys know. So I have a little bit of an update for you guys. So we've been talking about the housing market in general, right? We've been seeing home prices come down, which is good. Particularly speaking, if you look at the home builders, right? So the Pulte Group is a big one. Taylor Morrison Home is another huge one. Toll Brothers, D.R. Horton. So if you look at all those stocks, home builder stocks have really been leading. However, if you've been paying attention to a lot of the earnings conference calls, which I would highly, highly advise you pay attention to, one of the ways these home builders, or new home builders, one of the ways they've been able to move product is by offering a lot of sales concessions. Have anybody noticed that? So obviously, as interest rates have risen, right, the Federal Reserve has now raised interest rates 10 consecutive times. They did pause and they didn't raise in June. However, there's an 87% probability or likelihood, according to the futures market, that we're going to get at least one more interest rate hike in July, which is pretty much now, right? It's the start of Q3. I can't even believe that. I noticed on the financial sheet that they were sending around, at the additional units that are left for sale at 130 William, there's significant sales concessions the developer's offering to move that product. I believe, depending on the unit, they're offering about 12 to 16 months of maintenance fees completely waived, right? So if you live in a building, chances are you're gonna have to pay some sort of monthly maintenance or HOA. And they're offering concessions on the mansion tax, right? So here in New York City, it's kind of unique, right? If you purchase an apartment that's valued over $1 million, you pay a specific sort of like millionaire tax, and the developer is going to pay that for you. So it seems as if the housing market is sort of shifting a little bit from an intense, you know, seller's market where the sellers have the vast majority of the wiggle room, so to speak, right, or all the leverage, to inching a little bit. I wouldn't go as far to say it's a buyer's market, but if you're a buyer in this market, it seems as if you can get at least some sort of concession, negotiate on the price a little bit. So, you know, noticing that stuff, that is actually the first thing that caught my eye, aside from the beautiful architecture, the detail, the great amenities of the building. What really caught my eye is, you know, it seems like they're trying to move product by offering very aggressive concessions. All right, so we are going to cross the street here. This is West Street. So this is the corner of West Street and Fulton Street. Now, I'm not sure if that's a full moon. Maybe somebody in the chat could... No, I don't think it's a full moon yet. I think it's like a 97%, but still looks beautiful nonetheless. Lots of traffic. Seems like everybody's trying to get out of the city to enjoy the 4th of July weekend somewhere else but New York. Michelle Henry says, my realtor said it's still a seller's market. Yeah, I'll say this. In New York City, and I'll speak for New York market, if the property's really good, right? Like if it's a good property, you're probably going to get multiple offers. You're probably going to get multiple offers on it still. Now, are you seeing the craziness where there's these unbelievable bidding wars that were, in my opinion, right, totally irrational? No, you're not really seeing that. Things going for like hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking. You're not, but you are still seeing multiple offers on a property, especially if it's a good property. All right, now we've crossed the street and we'll take a quick look at Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs is a major Wall Street mega bank, particularly an investment bank. And I believe they're actually going to be pulling out, or potentially pulling out of their partnership with Apple for the Apple savings account, if you will. So, you know, it's interesting. We've been talking about Goldman Sachs' strategy of breaking into retail banking for quite some time now on the stream, over about a year. Now, Goldman Sachs isn't a traditional retail bank like you would think, right? So you've probably been inside a JP Morgan Chase branch, a Bank of America branch, and the like. There's not actual physical locations of Goldman Sachs where you can go in and open a checking account. It's not a consumer bank. It is an investment bank, right? So Goldman Sachs helps companies raise money. They help companies go public. They issue debt, corporate bonds, things like that. So it's an investment bank. They help other companies purchase other companies, mergers and acquisitions and the like. However, over the last couple of years, Goldman Sachs has really made a conceited effort to try to break in to the retail banking sector and gain market share. And it's really just been a total, I'll try to keep my voice down. I was gonna say a total failure, but I don't wanna upset any of the employees that could be walking around. It's been a failure, but that's okay, right? It's okay to try things. So they've sort of pulled out of the Marcus by Goldman Sachs strategy, right? And if you've ever listened to one of Goldman's earnings calls, one of the questions that is always asked by many of the analysts that cover the stock, like from Piper Sandler, things like that, is why are you guys even bothering trying to break into retail banking when you have such a cash cow in the investment banking business? Why don't you just double down and triple down on what you're good at, which is investment banking? And I think that's what they're doing now, right? It's very, very clear that that is actually what they're doing. And it seems as if they're pulling the ripcord and pulling the plug on the retail business in and of itself. But here's the main lobby of Goldman Sachs, right here. Beautiful building. Hey, John is here, says Goldman Sachs has a negative connotation amongst the general public. You know, I definitely get that. I would agree with you, John, specifically after the 2008 financial crisis, right? Particularly after 2008. I think any type of investment banker or Wall Street persona, if you will, leaves a bad taste in the mouth of many Americans, right? So I definitely would agree. Hey, Gary Carpenter's here. What's up? Sabrina Fair, Stephen Bate. Good to see you. DB, you're welcome, welcome. Hey, Midnight Boba, good to see you. Jafet Perez. Let me just catch up on some of the comments. Yeah, Jafet Perez says Apple $3 trillion market cap today. Vinny Castellano says, Tom, I want to buy small retail space for my bonsai business. What should I ask for or look for? Well, it depends on what market you're looking in. Are you talking about New York market, like Manhattan, something specific like that? I guess it just depends on where you are. Depending on where you are in the country, you can actually probably get some really good deals on retail space. Hey, Braveheart, what's up? Says, hey, Tom, thank you for the chill live streams, no problem. It's gonna be an extra relaxing one tonight because I feel as if this is a big holiday weekend. Now, in New York, anytime, wow, this is a really good view of the moon. Check that out, guys. That is a gorgeous view. Anytime the 4th of July falls on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, the whole week is pretty much shot, right? Now, Monday, the city's probably going to be a ghost town. I took the train very, very early this morning. Like at 8:30, I was on the subway platform. There was not a soul on the train, which makes sense. right? Since the 4th of July is on a Tuesday this year, Monday is the 3rd of July, everybody just pretty much calls it quits and takes the extra long weekend. Anybody here doing the same thing? Anybody here just calling it quits and just taking the extra long weekend? J49 says my crybaby boss wants me to work on Monday. You know, I may actually have to go into the office for a second on Monday. CA2D says I just put gas this evening over in Denver, Colorado, $4.29. Wow. That seems a little bit high, right? That does seem really high, actually. $4.29 a gallon? I don't even know what it would be in New York, but I'm assuming definitely not that. Probably in the threes. Hey, Bree Grams, welcome. All right, I'll give you one more panoramic view of the lower Manhattan skyline and One World Trade Center. We're literally standing directly under it. And then we're gonna head all the way to the South Street Seaport. Just gotta watch all the bikers. This is Vesey Street and West Street. Now this bike path, guys, will actually take you pretty much all the way around the island of Manhattan. I used to commute on this bike path very often. I would get on at 59th Street, Columbus Circle, and go all the way down here. Hey, Joseph Hardaway says, what's up, Tom and chat? Good to see you. Parry says, Tom, which city is better, Buffalo or Binghamton, New York? I am thinking about moving. You know what? I'm not too familiar with either city. However, I will say this. I think Buffalo, if I had to choose between the two, I think I may choose Buffalo, New York. Mainly because it's closer to Canada, right on the border, close to Niagara Falls. But I'll just warn you, if you're gonna move to upstate New York, okay, even though it is gorgeous in the fall, the spring, and in the summer, you better prepare yourself for the winter. The upstate New Yorkers don't play around when it comes to the snow, okay? And I think Buffalo, New York is the location in New York where it has the most snowfall, I think. I actually think it may have the most snowfall in the United States, not just New York State. Hey, Midnight Boba, thank you so much for your very generous $5 donation. Happy 4th of July weekend to you. Yeah, Dre says it's cold is all hell up there in the winter. It is. You know, and that's not to sort of hate on upstate New York, but I'll say one thing, and I was talking, you know, I met up with a person from Twitter the other day. Kind of crazy to think about, but Twitter has really been just an unbelievable networking tool for me. Almost better than LinkedIn. I've actually been able to close substantial deals and have monster deals in the pipeline from being on Twitter. So if you're in the real estate business, if you're in the tech business, or if you work on Wall Street in any capacity, I'd seriously consider getting on Twitter and networking. So anyway, that's besides the point. But during our conversation, and excuse the wind noise, guys, I don't have the microphone tonight. But during our conversation specifically, you know, we were talking about purchasing real estate, buying and selling real estate, and we've concluded that the number one factor, I would say one of the main factors that you should look at when purchasing real estate is population growth and population trajectory, right? Because especially if you're purchasing as an investment property, I mean, unless you're gonna, well, I'll just say pretty bluntly, you gotta have population growth to support rent growth, right? Just do a quick case study on all the cities across the United States that have been in population free fall and in population decline over the past decade, right? Almost a one-to-one correlation between population growth and property valuation growth and rent growth. So be very, very careful investing in markets that have a clear downward trajectory as it relates to population growth, okay? Because usually once a trend is in motion, it tends to stay in motion. So I don't know, that's sort of my 2 cents. And I think upstate New York is becoming a little bit more sparsely populated, if you will. Yeah, Beacon, New York says Binghamton is near Ithaca, which is a really nice city. You know, I do enjoy Ithaca. I think Ithaca will always do well because they have some significant institutions and educational institutions there, right? Number one, Ithaca College, big college there. And number two, Cornell University, which is one of the best colleges in the United States. I believe it is an Ivy League institution. Anthony says, stay ahead of Denver, tired of all you newcomers. Oh, Anthony, you'd freaking rip my head off, man, because I was actually thinking about going to Denver. You know, I really like Denver a lot. I think I told this story a million times, but I was interviewing with a particular cybersecurity company. Now, the company is called Ping Identity, P-I-N-G Identity. But at the time, it was a publicly traded company, right? However, it was taken public by Vista Equity Partners. And it was trading, and it was actually a laggard. It was an underperformer. And Ping Identity specializes in identity and access management cybersecurity. Hopefully everything's all right over here. You have the FDNY going into the Oculus. Hopefully everything's okay. However, they were actually taken private yet again by our good friend Orlando Bravo. And Orlando Bravo is an unbelievably successful businessman from Puerto Rico who founded the private equity firm Thoma Bravo. And they are based, I should say Ping Identity is based in Denver. So had I accepted that job offer, maybe you guys would be seeing these live streams in Denver instead of New York. So yeah, huge tech town in Denver, Colorado. Hey, Hang with Mark Mom says, I lived in upstate New York for over 11 years in a college town. I was able to buy 6 homes back in the day. That is awesome. I'm assuming you still own those properties, right? Hang with Mark Mom. Now, give us some insight into that rental business, right? Because you sort of have two conflicting viewpoints. Some people say, you know, it's very risky to rent to college students because they're going to trash the property. But some other people say it's a very consistent form of deal flow, right? I mean, if you buy in a college town, you're always going to have consistent renters. Miss Besh says, why wouldn't you take the job? You know, it's a good question. It has nothing to do with the company not being good or the offer they gave me, because the offer they gave me was a lot of money. But it's difficult, right? And, you know, I was thinking about Miami, Florida. I'm obviously from New York. My entire family's here. So to pick up and uproot yourself and move, you know, to the kind of West Coast-ish is a big move. So I decided that I wasn't going to go to Denver. I was going to buy a place in Miami because the flight from Fort Lauderdale or Miami International Airport to JFK is 2.5 hours. I mean, you can't beat that. And the flights are relatively cheap, so it's easy access to go back and forth. So I thought it would just be a little bit better fit. I'll quickly show you guys inside the Oculus. So I decided on Miami as my second place. Just for those of you who didn't see the inside yesterday, I wanted to show you what the inside of the Oculus looks like. Hey, J87124. This is Evening Tom, loves some Denver. Used to drive up 3 or 4 times a year. Love that. Hey, Wabi is here. What's up? Hey, Carolyn Kelly says, greetings from Toronto. Your channel is quite unique. Thank you so much. You know, stay tuned because I may be up in your neck of the woods very soon. Before the pandemic, I was actually planning a trip to Montreal and Toronto, but then obviously, you know, we all know what happened with the coronavirus, unfortunately, put a wrench in those plans. But I'm excited to get back to Canada. I haven't been since I was a little kid. I love the country. Hold on, let's head out. We'll go this way, because I want to make sure I get you guys to South Street Seaport. I think everything will be good. Hey, did you guys hear about that big fire that broke out at Tiffany's? So LVMH, which we've been talking about, right? It's one of the best performing stocks, French stock, one of the most valuable companies. They invested about $500 million, $500 million, to revamp and renovate the Fifth Avenue flagship location of Tiffany. Now, something horrible happened this week. A big fire broke out in the basement after they just renovated the whole building. Now, allegedly, it's some sort of an electrical fire. Do you guys hear about this? I think 2 people were injured, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, after investing $500 million into those renovations, they had a huge grand opening party. It's funny because my neighbor in Miami is actually a big vice president at Tiffany, and he actually flew to New York to go there. I met him for coffee, but just wild to think about that. So yeah, hopefully no more fires. We can't afford that here in the city. This is the Millennium Hotel. Before we cross Church Street, this is always my favorite shot of the Oculus and One World Trade Center. Yeah, Shady 901 says the renovations brought down the Notre Dame Cathedral too. Has that been like 2 years ago now? That's crazy.
Straight over.
Hey, Steph UH, good to see you. Vincent, Lee says happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to you, my friend. Weekend, I should say. We're gonna try to stream the fireworks, but I can't give you guys any promises because the internet's no good. But we do have one thing to cover tonight, and I think we'll start on that really quick. But first, you know what? Since it's the 4th of July weekend, I'll ask you guys. All right, what should we do tonight? Should we go to South Street Seaport and then try to go over the Manhattan Bridge? Or should we go over the Brooklyn Bridge again? What do you guys think? And while you're answering that, we'll quickly go over the inflation data that came out today. So we got the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge coming out today. And it was actually way better than expected. So core PCE inflation increased 4.6% year over year. The headline number was up 3.6%. Now on a month over month basis, inflation was up 0.3%. So cooling quite substantially. However, still above the Federal Reserve's target of 2%. Now remember, that is the mark that Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and all of the other Fed presidents where they want inflation to fall is down to that 2% target. So I don't know, if you look at the futures market, even after that better than expected inflation report, it looks as if we're still gonna get that 25 basis point rate hike this month. We'll see. I'm seeing a lot of Brooklyn Bridge 2. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll go over there. We'll do this. We will, we'll take the long way around. So we'll check out the seaport, and then we'll sort of come up the back entrance to Pace University, and that'll take us right onto the on-ramp of the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, Lemonade is here. Good to see you. Welcome. You can kind of visualize Lower Manhattan clearing out. Everybody's leaving the office, probably heading out east or even up to Connecticut. Hey, sunshine after rain. Good to see you. Hopefully your work week was good as we come to the conclusion of the week before the big holiday weekend. Got a lot of construction. This looks like it's garbage night down here too, or recycling. It's funny, we're talking about the inflation numbers and the Federal Reserve, and we're actually going to pass the Federal Reserve here in a minute again as we cross Nassau Street. The Federal Reserve is right there. It's that big building at the end of the block. You might as well walk past it again. I think it's very fitting for the live stream. Yeah, I saw that too. So what are your thoughts on that, guys? And let's stick from the standpoint of the economic side, right? Because we all have our differing opinions on whether we think the student loan should be paid or not. I think that's kind of irrelevant in terms of the conversation about, you know, the economy and how it can impact it. But with the Supreme Court ruling, what do you guys think? Do you think this could have a significant impact on consumer spending? Or do you think it'll sort of be a non-issue and not really impact it at all? Here's the Federal Reserve. It's almost like Fort Knox. Now, I think there's something over $300 billion of gold literally beneath our feet right here, if you could even believe that. It's kind of crazy to think about, but this building to our right houses the one of the largest deposits of the world's gold, about 3 stories underground. Kind of crazy. Somebody says, who cares? Same money will flow. Maybe, perhaps. Ryan Beck's definite impact, but they shouldn't be spending it on retail / etc. Lewis is by the banks. J49 says too many people milk their student loans, gotta pay what you owe. I agree. Jay Sully says live within your means and you'll be okay. I would second that. Now, within the inflation report, did anybody see probably the most important piece of data that we got from within that report? And it was actually the savings rate for May. Now, you would think with such robust consumer spending, the savings rate would have actually declined. Well, it was actually the opposite. The savings rate in May actually went up 4.6%. That's up from 4.3%. Now, for May, consumer spending eased a little bit, and the 2 main categories, right, goods and services, you saw consumers spending less money on like physical hard goods, but more money on services, which would sort of fit the narrative that we were talking about a couple live streams ago as it relates to a lot of the hospitality booming, right? Many of you gave us insights. You work at hotels or know people who work at hotels, and they're pretty much all booked up. So even though that consumers are spending more money on experiences, on services, consumers are actually saving more money now. And I think that has to do with personal incomes. I'm just trying to cross the street here. because personal income also increased about 0.4%. The expectation was 0.3%. So wages are going up, incomes are going up, and that's allowing people to save a little bit more money. So people have cash cushions for sure. Somebody says deflation is coming. Lewis is good, pay back the debt. Agreed. Lewis says banks to the moon. So Lewis, I have a little bit of a, just for the sake of conversation here, are you concerned at all about the amount of commercial debt, right, or commercial paper that's on the books at a lot of these banks? Because if you look at a lot of the office debt across the country, I think it's something along the lines of almost $1 trillion worth. Now don't quote me on that, but all of that is going to come up to be refinanced. And I don't think the numbers are going to work, right? If you have to refinance all that debt, the difference is interest rates are about 500 basis points higher than what they were in 2021. So that could potentially be a risky situation there that could cause a bit of a stir in the market. So I don't know. I think we need to keep our eye on that. Victor Bravo says 2 issues regarding education, Biden's debt program, and affirmative action. Yeah, I want to keep mainly the conversation more towards, you know, how it'll affect the economy. Everybody has their own opinion in terms of the politics of it all. Hey, NBA Elias says, hello, Tom. Hope you had a good week. I did. NBA Elias, what do you think about, I mean, just the monster data that we've been getting this week, right? GDP numbers coming in better than expected. 2% GDP growth in the United States. Inflation cooling. Savings rates higher. I don't know. I think the PCE number today sort of saved us in a way, right? Now, futures markets is still pricing in about roughly an 87% likelihood we're going to get at least one more interest rate hike in July, specifically in the amount of 25 basis points. But if we came in hot on the PCE, that would have been bad, and I think we may have gotten a potential 50 or maybe even 75 basis point hike. Now, this is the AIG building, everybody. I always like to point this out. This is on Water Street. It's totally empty. Look at it. Crazy. I actually remember going into this building a while back. At my last job, AIG was actually a client of ours. And it's just wild to look in this building and see every single floor totally vacant. Crazy. Speaking of the whole office debacle that's going on in New York City and across essentially the nation, Lower Manhattan and FiDi has some of the highest vacancy rates in the city in terms of office. And we're looking at it right here. Wabi says future condo conversions. You know, I've been able to speak to a lot of very notable developers, real estate developers in the city. And it is very, very unlikely that these buildings will be converted into condominiums. It's very, very expensive to do that. There's a lot of moving parts to that. A lot of regulation, a lot of zoning. Very, very expensive. So I don't know. I think, if anything, I think these will probably trade at land value. And when it comes time that demolition costs come down, maybe they'll just be demoed. But look, check this out. This used to be the main AIG, totally vacant. It's crazy to see it like that. It's really crazy to see it like that. Now, there has been a couple successful condo conversions, one of which 95 Wall Street, I think the Hanover Square building That used to be office that's now converted into condominiums. All right, we are crossing John Street, and this is going to take us right into the South Street Seaport. However, I think there's a little bit of a dead zone here, so we may start to buffer here in a minute. Ah, Dave's. Tom, check your email about how so they're using empty New York City office space to film like movies and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that could that's interesting. I don't know if that's going to sort of save the market, but I mean, definitely making good use of it is good. Okay, we're coming for full circle here, team. This is Fulton Street. Let's see if we buffer. Look at these two dogs here. All right, welcome to the beautiful South Street Seaport. This is one of my favorite locations in all of New York City. You can see everybody out enjoying the weather, dining, having a drink. It's really nice, this setup. They did a really good job. Wow, Wabi says, Tom, up here in Boston, the mayor is pushing for more office conversions to workforce housing. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to do something, and there's gonna need to be significant government subsidy in order to do that. Yeah, PM, that's true. Joel PM says, watching the show The Office is a good reminder of what I never want to return to. It's a good point. I mean, you know, and that's why we're seeing this huge transition from the Class B and Class C office space to Class A property, right? To your point, you're not going to get somebody back to the office if it's a 1980s style cubicle and it looks horrible. It's just not going to happen. Now, has anybody seen, maybe we'll do that on tomorrow night's live stream, 270 Park Avenue, which is JP Morgan Chase's brand new office tower that's going up. That thing is coming along really, really well. It looks really good. Now, allegedly, did you guys hear this? Allegedly, if you look on the sides of the building, right? So along the Park Avenue facing side, allegedly there's like a diamond structure, right? And that was Jamie Dimon's way of sort of putting his stamp on the building. Did you guys hear that? Could you imagine if that's true? Imagine being the CEO of a Wall Street mega bank and saying, yeah, I want our brand new office tower to have diamond insignia on the side just to put my seal of approval on the building. I mean, these people have so much money, it's crazy. Hey, Beto is here, what's up? Yeah, J49 says Jamie Dimon has them working 24/7. Jamie Dimon does pay them very well, though, I will say that. I have a couple friends at JP Morgan in M&A, and they do really well. As they should, as they should. Okay, this is coming up on the Tin Building. Wow, a lot of people. It seems like everybody's leaving while we're actually walking to it. Doesn't it seem that way, guys? It seems like everybody's leaving the party as we're just arriving. Maybe there was a movie of some sorts getting out. Hey, Michelle Henry, what's up? Says you have a great night. It's been great to catch up. See you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you for joining us and have a great 4th of July weekend. Hey Keith, this is Tom. In my day, employees didn't dictate office space. Yeah. Different world now, I guess. So one of our friends here walks in Wall Street, one of our viewers, I believe he designed this building. I think he worked at the architectural firm that designed the Tin Building, which is kind of cool. Hey, Daryl's here. Good evening from Chicago. What's up, Daryl? Welcome to the Seaport in New York. Now you can see a little bit of the Brooklyn Bridge. Can you guys see that? I'm trying to look for signs to see what's going on here, because it looks like there was some big event. There's a lot of people coming out of here. All right, let's go explore this a little bit. I mean, they did a really good job on all of it. Everything's brand new. The Tin Building looks great. Maybe we'll cross this way. Oh, I didn't know there was a Jean George's here. Wow. I think there's another one in the Trump International Hotel and Tower, 1 Central Park West. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams starting at 8:30 p.m. exploring New York City and Miami, talking about real estate and the financial markets. I wonder if we can go in here. You guys want to try?
Oh, you went in here already?
We'll see what's in here. We'll peek in real quick. Wow, it looks good. I love the niches on the countertops. Can you guys? Wow, and look at that. Right as you come out to your left, you can't get a better view of the Brooklyn Bridge. Wow. And then that's 1 Manhattan Square in the background. That is the brand new development of Extel. That's Gary Burnett's company. Buffering. All right, these are amazing views. So here you could see the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge in the background. And if you look past the Manhattan Bridge, you actually see the Williamsburg Bridge too. This is an amazing shot here. I don't think I've taken you guys here, at least in like a year. It's been a while. Yeah, hang with Mark Moms is a very impressive view. Joel's is an amazing view. Amazing spot. Let's walk a little bit further down here. I remember the last time, I'm trying to remember, I think the last time I took you guys here, this was all scaffolding because they were still building it. I will say it's about 10 degrees cooler down here too by the water. And you could see the very top of the spire of One World Trade Center too. And 130 William, where we were today. So this is 130 William. It's actually blocking the World Trade Center a little bit. But regardless, very nice. Wow, they completely redid this area since I was last here. Wow, really nice. So many people hanging out down here too. Yeah, Wabi's, like, you have to admit, New York City is really hard to top. It is. And I mean, this particular location is also another selling point of 130 William, of One Manhattan Square. Because before, back in the day, I should say, let's just say this was not like this at all. So as you have new development coming to downtown Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, lots of restaurants, places to eat, you see dancing here. It's gonna attract a lot of buyers down here. I love how they have these chairs here. Isn't that cool? They made these sort of built-in chairs overlooking the water. I may sit down. Ooh, wow, that is nice, guys. Holy crap, this is gorgeous. Okay, must recommend, if you come to New York City or you're looking to move here, this is like the spot for the summer. This is really nice. I know, Sabrina Fair's like, it's marvelous. They did a great job. I know, hanging with Mark Mom, it's like I would have sat down a long time ago, the best spot. Oh, you can see the water taxi. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. Look at this. At least I think that's the New York City water taxi. Whoa, guys, look at this. Is that a cruise ship in the distance? All right, team, am I seeing things, or is that a cruise ship? What is that? I think that may be a cruise ship. Let's go check it out. All right, let's go check it out. We'll do a lap around the whole thing. I'm intrigued by this area. But first, I want you guys to look at the Manhattan Bridge. You see the little lights flickering? That's actually the train going through. So Brooklyn Bridge, there's no subway, but the Manhattan Bridge, there's the subway that goes across. All right, let me readjust. All right, let's continue the lap. Look at the moon too, look at that. Hey Cosmo, what's up, man? Cosmo, maybe I'll see you this year for the 4th of July fireworks. For those of you who don't know, Cosmo and I, it seems as if we were standing like literally right next to each other at last year's 4th of July. So maybe I'll see him. Look at this outdoor dining space. Well, it's actually not outdoors, actually, I lied. It's just the glass is super clear, look at that. The ambiance here is amazing. Everything is very low lit. You know, I'm not sure. I think from NBA Live is like, can you see the fireworks from this location? I don't think it's the best view. I think this year they're lighting them off between 23rd Street and 40th. Is that right? I usually go to, what's it called? Greenpoint, Brooklyn is a really good spot to view them. Long Island City is another great spot. But the thing about Long Island City, that gets really crowded. That's like the spot that everybody goes to. Hey Skylar, what's up? This is Hey Tom. Yes, that cruise ship leaves from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, it looks like it's pulling out right now. Look at it. So this is all the lower Manhattan. I think my favorite thing about this is how the lights of the city bounces off the water. Look at the current of the water, guys. It doesn't seem like it's a strong current, but trust me, standing here, that is a strong current. Yeah, Cosmos, like, I think this year we should watch the fireworks from my yacht. I think we should watch it from yours. I get a little bit seasick, just to warn you. Sometimes in the summer, now that the Hudson River has been cleaned up a little bit, you can actually see dolphins in the water. Which is good news, right? That means our waterways are becoming cleaner, which is what we want. Maybe one of these days we'll see dolphins at Jones Beach. Who knows? All right, let's head back into the city. This is Momofuku Noodle Bar, by the way. This is a great place. I'd recommend it. actually kind of want to eat here right now. This place is really good. They have one of their locations at the Deutsche Bank Tower, formerly known as the Time Warner Center, as you know. Hey, Nina is here. Good to see you, Nina. We'll make a move throughout the crowd here. There must be close to 1,000 people down here. That was cool. What do you guys think about the South Street Seaport area? I think they did a pretty good job. What do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down on how they redid the Seaport? This is the Tin Building again. I think they did a phenomenal job. And it's definitely working at attracting people and tourists. It's definitely a full house, that's for sure. Yeah, Richard Vogel says 10 out of 10. I agree. Drace is way better than Philly. Hey, Robert, what's up, man? Happy 4th of July weekend. All right, so we'll cross back into the main seaport area, and then we'll make our way to the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey Abdullah, good to see you. I feel like there was some concert that was going on. All right, we're back stateside. Good stuff. Hey, JM is here. What's up, JM? This is your whole family's from Brooklyn. What part? This place is really cool, the iPic Theater. I remember when this just opened. I think it was 2016 it opened. Okay, Flatbush. Very nice. Yeah, Ryan Beck's like, thanks for bringing us down here. Man, if you visit New York, you got to come down here for yourself. I think you'll enjoy it. Now, there's more sort of bars, restaurants down this way too, once we go around the FDNY truck. I feel like this is a part in New York that the vast majority of people who are not familiar with Manhattan sort of never get to see, right? A lot of people think about Manhattan and New York City as Times Square, all like Midtown Manhattan, touristy areas. But this is so unique in and of itself. Look at the outdoor dining set up here at Beekman Street. Now, I think if I were to show this video or photo to non-New Yorkers, I don't even think they would have guessed that this is New York City. Especially with the streets. Look at the original cobblestone streets here. It's amazing. I think this location in New York is more charming than, you know, classic Midtown Manhattan. Wow, this is really cool. You know, some restaurants don't do the outdoor dining well, but some of them do it really, really well. I think this is one of those examples of doing it very, very well. Very well upkept. It's not all dilapidated like some of them. Wow, guys, look at this shot. This is Front Street. Check out the facade on this building. All the original brick. You have the fire escapes. You have the those kind of look like the original windows with the bright white frame on the outside. Yeah, Columbia Parkway says, you're right, it's much nicer than Midtown. It's a really nice change. It's a really, really nice change. That guy has a really nice Vespa, by the way. I like that guy's Vespa. 2 thumbs up for that dude. And that's 130 William that we talked about today. Very cool. All right, we'll continue to walk through. Here's some more bars and restaurants outside. I'll turn around and give you guys another view of that. Wow, that's a really nice shot with the American flag. Oh, Jack's Coffee. I've never seen this. Oh, it's about coffee. I've heard of that. I'm sort of getting mesmerized by the restaurants myself. I'm kind of selfishly checking it out. I'm not doing a very good job of narrating it, but it looks beautiful. Look at that. Whoa, look at the wine rack all the way in the back there. That is really nice. Let's check out some of the prices. Oh, let me zoom in. Let me focus this. Not too horrible, actually. Not bad, like $25 a dish. Not bad. I mean, if you know, at some of the Italian restaurants in and around Midtown, I mean, you're talking at least like 25 to 30%, you know, a higher price than that, but that's not bad. Yeah, Brendan O'Brien's like limited menu, but sometimes, you know, sometimes I like when restaurants have like a limited menu, because you know the focus on those dishes are really good. One of my friends, one of my best friends, is a chef. He actually used to be the head chef at Del Posto. Are any of you familiar with Del Posto? Now, unfortunately, it closed down due to the pandemic, but it was one of the best Italian restaurants in the city. Now, I'll give you guys a tip, okay? If you're coming to New York and you're visiting here, I want you to look up this restaurant. It's called Mel's, so MEL''S, Mel's, and it's in Chelsea Market. It's a little pricey, but if you send me an email, so if you send me an email to walkswallstreet@gmail.com, my friend is now the head chef at that place. I think he actually has some equity in the restaurant with the other owner, and I'll make sure they take good care of you guys. So if you're in the city for business, or you have a client or something that you really need to impress, shoot me an email, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed with that restaurant. It's very good. There's more outdoor dining here. Yeah, Rayo's is good too. Hey, Pineapple Water, thank you so much for your $20 donation. This is Tom. Right there is a hotel called 33 Seaport. Rooms overlook the Brooklyn Bridge. Wow. Let me see. Oh, dude, right here. Very cool. 33 Seaport Hotel. Well, thank you for your donation, by the way. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, it looks really nice. Yeah, here's all the rooms, and you're literally right on the Brooklyn Bridge. Now, I would assume it's probably better to stay here during the spring and in the summer, right? Because, I mean, the winter down here can get pretty pretty cold. Really nice bar. Everything is very elegant down here. Look at all the wood paneling. I love that. I think I told you guys before, I want to build a custom library in my house for like an office, and I want exactly this, all this rich wood paneling. I think that's done really, really nice. Some of it can be horrible and it could look really tacky, but I think this looks really, really nice. Very cool. Now, in the Seaport, there's all these original buildings. You could tell this one is a new development. I don't think this fits. It sort of sticks out like a sore thumb, if you will. Look at that, guys. Isn't that pretty obvious? What are your thoughts? Do you think this building right here fits with the architectural integrity of the block? I don't know. I think it sticks out a little bit. I don't know. Hey, Alley Star says, yeah, brilliant for libraries. Oh, is it Chinese rosewood? Let me actually take a screenshot of that. I know, definitely not, right? Not to hate on the building, but yes, TK Porsche with the stainless steel framing, you're right. Wow, look at the bar here. That's a really nice setup. This is called Restaurant Pearl. You know, this area is really growing on me, I'm not gonna lie. Especially after tonight's walk. Here's another bar across the street. Nina, you want a martini? I'll order you one. And look at that. I mean, you can't beat that. Look at that view of One World Trade Center. Let's go down this block, check out these restaurants. $257 Water Street. Oh, looks like there's apartments here. Doorman building, very nice. Some more outdoor dining. Ah, it's a steakhouse. Mark Joseph Steakhouse. I'll have to make a note of this. Seems like a good place to take clients. Look at how unique the block is too, very quiet. And overlooking the Brooklyn Bridge. Let's check out the prices, might as well. It looks good. Lamb chop, $64. Tomahawk ribeye. It looks good. A little bit pricey, but still, if you're, I'll definitely check it out. I'm gonna make a mental note of that. I always like taking clients to new places around the city. If the client orders the $120 Tomahawk ribeye, we'll just charge it to Sunshine After Rain's Amex. No worries. All right, here we are, Brooklyn Bridge. Let's make a right. and we'll get onto the bridge. Ooh, look at these fire escapes here, really beautiful. Yeah, somebody says didn't really seem egregious, especially for New York City. Not at all. You know, I'm kind of glad we got lost down these little meandering streets here. Neighborhood is great, especially in the summer. So this is the official walkway to get back up to Pace University. And as we make this first right at Pace University, that is the on-ramp for the pedestrian bridge to get onto the Brooklyn Bridge. You can hear the crickets. These are all the cars going on the roundabout to get on the bridge to go to Brooklyn. Hey, Molly Duran, thank you for saying that. We'll wait for the light. This is on the corner, just for context, this is the corner of Dover Street and Pearl. Now, Pearl Street will actually run you all the way into Chinatown. There's actually some really good dim sum places down here, but I don't think we're gonna have enough time to look at that tonight. Right. Got these two dogs having a good time here. I know, Joel PM, when I heard those crickets back there, it reminded me of my place in Miami. That's the one thing I miss more specifically about Miami when I'm in New York. You know, you could be out in my front yard or my backyard at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and the moonlight lights up the entire sky. You hear the crickets, the birds chirping. It's awesome. The palm trees, I have a bunch of palm trees in my house, mango tree, tons of citrus. I got lemons, I have kumquats. It's just a different experience down there in Miami. I love it. PLA 30 says I'd be afraid of alligators. There's really no alligator. I think that's a little bit of a myth. I have never seen one alligator in all my time in Miami. That's more as you go out to Homestead, I think. You know, if you're in Miami, if you're in Fort Lauderdale, you're not gonna see an alligator. At least not where I live, right? Near Sunny Isles Beach. There's no... There's no way that alligators come up, at least from my experience. Ooh, guys, look at this. This is a pretty great unobstructed view of 130 William. So now you guys can get some context of what I was talking about. So if you guys are just joining here, I've actually had the pleasure of taking a really good guided tour of this luxurious building here today with the Kirsten Jordan team. They're one of the top sales teams in all of Manhattan. And imagine the views from that building. You could see all Manhattan Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, and pretty unobstructed too, which is great. If you want to see some of the photographs of the views and videos, I'll be posting them up a little bit later tonight. If you look in the links in the description, you can follow us on Twitter or IG. I'll be doing a little bit of a write-up of the developer. I'll be doing a write-up of the architect who designed the building. Oh, it looks like they're shooting something here. The Pace University kids. Looks like a film project. That's cool. Hey, Melissa 2087. This is just tuned in, Tom. Where are we? Well, we were just at the South Street Seaport, which was beautiful. And now we're walking right beside the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, how can I help?
I don't know what exactly where.
You got to go on the Brooklyn Bridge?
No, it's not on Brooklyn Bridge. It cuts in.
Could you zoom out a little bit on the thing so maybe I can see? Or just zoom out a little bit?
No,
Yeah.
Please.
Oh yeah, so you're gonna walk right up here. You know where City Hall is? Then you're gonna make a right at City Hall and just keep going all the way down. You're going towards the south. I'm going this way too, so
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, you're gonna cross the street here
Okay.
at City Hall,
Okay.
and then you're gonna make a right and keep walking this way past the Brooklyn Bridge. You're going towards the water, like the seaport. You got to go into the island.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good weekend. So it's going to be the first intersection you cross, and then to the right.
To the right.
Yep. The big white building. Just follow that all the way down,
Oh,
and that'll take you exactly where you need to go.
thank you.
All right. Have a good day. Bye. Hey, Vonda Howard, what's up? This is the subway. So you could take the 456 to the east side of Manhattan. This will take you to the Upper East Side. So the green line, just remember, goes to the Upper East. Red line goes to the Upper West. So you could think about like 1, 2, and 3 trains. That'll be Upper West Side. I always like showing this building. I think this is 14 Spruce Street. Now, Questlove from the Roots Group has a really nice unit in there. Beautiful views. I think I could just make the light. Hold on one second. I think we gotta wait for it. People are gonna be coming around pretty fast. SME Media, yeah. So we briefly went over it at the beginning of the stream, 130 William, but let me tell you, SME Media, I was so impressed. Hold on, let me, you know, it's funny, I'm actually more scared about getting knocked off by one of these bikes than a car. I'd much rather get hit by a car than a bike, trust me. May sound crazy, but it's true. But SME Media, I was absolutely blown away by 130 William. We got a complete tour. The Kirsten Jordan team at Douglas Elliman, they're trying to get some listings in the building, right? And I think they are the team to do that. I think they're one of the top performing sales teams in Manhattan, right? She was the first female cast member on $1 Million Listing New York. But the building is about 90% sold out. I was able to see the penthouse on the 55th floor and the 57th. Beautiful. All of the amenities in the building, like the swimming pool, the gym, the sauna, the spa, it all has resemblances of the individual units. So for example, if you look at the saltwater pool at 130 William, it's literally a spitting image of the kitchen sinks and the bathtubs in the individual units, but just enlarged. It's so cool. It's an amazing, amazing building. And the staff were great. The doormen, the porters, I met pretty much everybody in there. Just super professional people, very kind. I really enjoyed my time there. All right, so here is the official on-ramp. Hey, Mario's here from Argentina. Good to see you. We talked about Argentina quite frequently this week on Walks on Wall Street as it relates to inflation and how people are hedging. We'll see how far we can get over the bridge. It looks like it's going to be a lot of tourists tonight because of the, what's it called? 4th of July weekend. Starting to notice it's very hazy again. Let me just adjust the brightness on my screen. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams about 5 days a week, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Walking around the city, talking about the real estate market, the financial markets, and just really exploring the city in general. Hey Gracie's, it's happy 4th of July weekend. Right back at you. I've been noticing a lot of bikes on the pedestrian path tonight. Maybe there's a lot of tourists because, for those of you that don't know, I'll quickly explain it again, because we do have a lot of new people here tonight. This used to be just one big cluster. It used to be pedestrians, bikers, mopeds, you name it. It used to be absolutely everything. And there was a lot of crashes and incidents. So what the city did is they made a completely separate bike lane, which is right here. So now the pedestrians don't have to interact with the bikers don't have to interact with the pedestrians. But, you know, I think a lot of people may be not getting the picture or the message tonight. Yeah, Pete, you're right. It's sort of like a break in the roadway there. You're right. Let's check out the on-ramp. This is the Brooklyn Bridge on-ramp to go to Brooklyn. Notice how smoky it is still on the horizon. Hey, everything in Miami, what's up? Says the bikers used to get pissed off at the walkers. Yeah, you're right. And now it's the opposite. You know, everything in Miami, I don't know if you just tuned in. For those of you who don't know, everything in Miami is a big name in the real estate business. It's been a real estate professional for probably longer than I've been alive. But the showing today, or I should say the preview at 130 William, was amazing. I was really impressed, and I was really impressed with the Kirsten Jordan team. They are phenomenal, let me just say that. There's a reason why they sell hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate a year. I mean, they are on it, right? Very good time. So this is where we were walking, right here. Hey Spencer, thank you so much. Just happy 4th of July to all. Please be safe. Thank you, sir. Very cool. So really quick, this big building right here is 1 Manhattan Square. That is the Extel development. Almost coming up to where we could see a great view of the Manhattan Bridge. Hey, Brian Forrest is here. Victor, what's up? Andy's joining us from South Korea. What's up, Andy? I've also noticed a lot of like tourist setups here. Never really used to be that, like all these like miniature setups. I don't even know what these things are, like a lot of luminescent lights all over the place. So that's where we were walking tonight, all the way down here at the seaport. Very peaceful up here. Never do that, trust me. I've seen horror things here. People climbing on the bridge, never ever do that. Trust me, very dangerous. Look at all the traffic backed up on the FDR. Look at that. Alrighty team, we are now officially halfway across the Brooklyn Bridge. And I want to officially thank everybody for coming out to the live stream tonight. I appreciate it very much. We have finally finished Q2. It is the official start of Q3. I want to wish everybody a very, very happy 4th of July weekend. If you enjoyed the live stream, feel free to join us tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. We will be live yet again. But for now, I'll leave you off with this beautiful view of the Empire State Building all the way in the distance. If you enjoyed the stream, feel free to leave a like on the video. Click the subscribe button if you're new. If you want to connect with us off YouTube, you can click the links in the description. Sign up for our free investing newsletter. Connect with us on Twitter and IG. And until then, happy 4th of July to everybody. So NBA Elias, Hal T, appreciate it very, very much. Everybody, please be safe this weekend. Joseph Hardaway, Lemonade, Richard Vogel, Outer Haven, Susanna Q4, the one and only Hawaii, Vinny, appreciate it. Andy from South Korea, our good friend Smee Media. Happy 4th of July weekend. Golden City D, hang with Mark, Mom. Thank you. Thank you. Teresa Diaz, TD from California. Always good to see you. Everything in Miami. Paul Tricky, Wabi, Sally, John. There's always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow night on Walks and Wall Street. Take care, everybody.